Hi, I'm Britt.
And my name is Alissa.
And this is Skeletales.
This is the podcast where we strive to answer the age-old question of, is my dead grandma watching me?
Alissa, you know how you have that one friend, you go in their house and they are a shoes off house.
Okay.
And you got to knock those shoes off before you can walk in. But you just remembered that you were wearing your Toms that are really stinky because you don't wear socks with them. And so you look at that sign and you're like, you know what? I'm just going to ignore it. I'm just going to ignore it. We're going to go on with our business. And you're walking around the house with your shoes on. Grandma saw that.
Just pretend you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And then
just
make
pretend
your friend...
you didn't see the pile of shoes by the front door.
And you know your friend is so timid they won't ask you. They just Britt, what do you think about those people who make you take your shoes off at the door?
You know, I approve of the shoes off. I think it instantly evokes comfort, but I am also a stinky-footed person, so I don't always love them when I wear certain shoes. Actually, I went to my friend's house one time and she said shoes off. And I actually wanted to take my shoes off. I wanted to get cozy. So what I did is I went in her bathroom and got the poopery that was under the cabinet. And I sprayed my feet with them.
With the poopery?
Yeah, the one you're supposed to spray in the toilet. I sprayed my poopy smelling feet with them.
I thought you were going to say, why don't you just wash your feet in the sink, like hand soap, feet soap.
Have you seen me? I'm 6 foot tall. It's like...
It seems very simple then. You just simply lift that foot. Oh, it's right height.
Then it would be harder for you.
I'd have to climb up on the sink. You just have to lift the foot, be right under there.
Oh my goodness.
I was hoping to trap you in a very uncomfortable situation because I don't know if you remember, but we're a shoes off house.
I do remember that. You have the shoes outside your door though, which is pretty brilliant. So that way, if someone has the stinky shoes, they're outside airing off.
Oh, but your feet are still inside. I thought you were more worried about your feet.
Well, that's when you rush to the bathroom and go wash them in the sink.
Yeah, we just have I would do it anyway, but the pine needles are an insane situation here. So we have to keep the shoes outside or else the pine needles are
getting trapped in.
Out.
No, I respect it. I do respect it. It keeps your floors better. But again, I think for me, it just evokes instant comfort when your shoes are off and you're at home and you can just relax.
I agree. And I will go so far as to, because I wear slippers inside all the time, I'll even pack my slippers. If I know I'm going over to a friend's house, I'll just bring my slippers with me and I'll wear my slippers over there. I make myself right at home.
That's the oldest lady thing you've ever said to me before.
I really like my slippers. I'm wearing them right now. I just showed Britt my slippers. Really? Yeah. Okay. I'll own that one.
To go to your friend's house.
Do. I had some real cute booty ones. I like my slippers a lot, and I can't not have them on now. I feel very uncomfortable. My feet feel naked. Hey, speaking of old lady things, Britt.
Yeah.
If our podcast was an old lady, wait, it'd be a senior citizen? No.
Yeah.
What am I trying to say?
If each episode that we aired counted as a year. Yes. We'd be a senior citizen old grandma. We're on episode 70 today.
70. This is the grandma episode. But nope, we're not talking about grandmas at all. I don't think either of us.
No, I don't have a single grandma story. Alissa, do we just talk about stinky feet?
No, we don't. We talk about true tales of the strange, unusual, and paranormal.
Dun, dun, dun.
Maybe we should start adding. We keep going dun dun dun. Maybe I'll see if I can get spicy with a sound effect for that. A real one.
We'll have to wait for episode 80 or 90 for that one.
All right. Well, Britt's out of town.
I am. I'm visiting family in Portland right now. So if my audio sounds a little different and you hear a lot of traffic, I am not in my closet. I am in my mom's bedroom. I actually forgot my mic stand, so my microphone is in her makeup basket right now on top of a Kleenex box. We are going with it.
You sound great, though.
Thank you.
You really do sound great. You don't. So we're going to try to keep it kind of tight so you can get back to your family time. We're not going to be too lugubrious in our speaking. Is that the word? Nope.
We're not going to be gooby tonight,
Lugubrious,
Alissa.
laborious, lugubrious, loquacious.
Oh.
That's the word. Those are all the same to me. Loquacious
Word of the
means
day.
talks too fucking much. That's Alissa Loquacious Williams. Anyway, so Britt, do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first? What do we?
I'm cool with either. I got some good ones though. Even though we're gonna keep it, simple. I'm bringing it today. All right, you know what? I'll go first. I'm excited. Now that I said I'm bringing it, I'm gonna bring it. This story I have is from Yvette. She writes in, when I was 23 years old, I went out on a Friday night and got home around 2:30 a.m. As soon as I walked in, my mom was up and very angry. The first thing she says to me is, "Why did you come home and then leave again?" I thought she was dreaming or just upset because I walked in late. So when I explained to her that I just got home and I didn't know what she was talking about, my mom's face and tone changed from being upset to scared. As she follows me to my room, she asks, "Are you telling me the truth right now? You didn't get home earlier and then leave." Of course, I would never lie to my mom, especially about that. I told her I just got home after dropping off my niece from a night out at the club with friends. So my mom tells me earlier she heard me walking into my room, so she gets up to check on me and sees me standing there in my room, giggling. She thought I was drunk and told me to get my butt to bed. She said I didn't say anything. I was just giggling and staring at her. So as she walks back into her room, the phone rings, and it was a good friend of mine, JR, checking to see if I'd gotten home safe. So my mom says that she walked back into my room to hand me the phone, and I was still standing there, but facing my closet. She said I turned to look at her, and as she was trying to give me the phone, I just started giggling. So she tells my friend, she's drunk, but she's home safe. Can you call her tomorrow? Then my mom went back to lay down, then got up 30 minutes later to see if I was in bed. She says when she opened the door to my room, I was gone. And of course, that made her angry. So when I got home, she was still angry, thinking that I'd left the house in the middle of the night drunk. After she explained to me what had happened, she then tells me to call my friend JR. So when I called him, he asked if I was okay. And I'm like, yeah? He says, "Girl, I called to check on you and your mom tried to pass you the phone. And all I can hear is you giggling in the background." So I told him, "That wasn't me. I'm literally just walking in from dropping off my niece." We both then freaked out. So then I was just curious, and Yvette says that this wasn't the first time something like this happened to her. When she was 25, she says, "My older brother came to live with us. One night he woke up my mom telling her that he'd been in the kitchen and heard someone walking towards him. When he turned around, he said it was me. I was slowly walking towards him with a blank stare and a wicked smile. He ends up turning around because he thought I was playing a prank or trying to scare him. When he turns back around, I was gone. Then he went to tell my mom, and that's when she informed him that I wasn't even home. Then the next day, he didn't even want to talk to me."
So what are we dealing with here? Like a doppelganger?
It's totally doppelganger. Absolutely. But the fact that her doppelganger keeps popping up is very strange.
It's creepy. Because initially I was like, maybe her mom dozed off and she thought she imagined her coming home and all that, right? But
Yeah.
you got the friend who's confirming, no, your mom called me.
I heard you giggling. Who is this
That is
doppelganger?
really freaky. I don't know.
Well,
what if that happened to you? If
the mom walking in and she's staring at the closet, then turns her head and starts giggling at her mom. The whole thing is just really creepy, like something out of a movie.
Yes.
I love a good doppelganger story, though. They're my favorite.
Where do they go then? Where do they disappear to after they show up?
I know.
I do like the doppelgangers stories a lot. I still want to sort of see one of mine. I want to see
of your own death, instant death.
Yeah, that's true. I don't want to see that, but I think it would also be weird to see somebody that looks exactly like me. Twins have that life every day, and triplets, right? And that's kind of
Yeah.
weird. That's their normal. They get to see someone who looks exactly like them.
Well, even when looking at photos of myself, I'm like, do I really look like that? So that would be helpful for a doppelganger to be like,
Oh, yeah.
all right, I look okay from behind. Cool, I'm doing okay.
Well, or because it's like the whole reversed image too. Like, wait, we're looking on here. Like, I'm holding up my right hand. Wait, does it look like I'm holding up my right hand or my left hand to you?
Oh, crap. Your right hand.
Okay, so it flips it back for you, but
Is it your left hand?
yeah, like the sign behind you. Wait, no, it's my right hand.
Yeah, it looks like your right hand. Okay, what hand am I holding up?
It looks like your left hand, but now I'm reversing. Well, it's your right hand. I know it's your right hand.
Oh, okay.
Wait, that's a confusing way to do that. That was hard. But I can read the sign behind you. It says joyful, patience, faithful, and it is straight ways for me. Whatever. Anyway, I'm a lopsided face person is all I wanted to say about that. Is what those reverse things
You
make
have
me
a
feel.
very lovely lopsided face, Alissa.
Thank you.
That's my story. Do you have a story to tell?
Okay, so you know that I spend quite a bit of time on the old TikToks these days. So I found this video. I saw this video of there's this little girl in a room with her grandmother, and she calls her grandmother Mimi. And it's like, so they have like a nanny cam sort of thing set up in the corner.
Okay.
And there's this little girl and her grandmother, and they're chatting and, you know, this and that. And all of a sudden the little girl says, "He's coming. I hear him coming." They're on the couch, and so she turns around and sort of looks out of view. You can't see where she's looking in the video, but she's like, "I hear him. I hear him coming." And the grandma kind of doesn't notice at first. And then she says it again. She's like, "He's coming. I can hear him. I can hear him." And she's like pointing. Then she's pointing at someone. And this girl is maybe 2 or she's toddler, tiny, like 2-year-old. And so she's pointing behind the couch, and her grandma says, what are you pointing at? And the little girl's like, him. And the girl's like, what are you talking about? Who's him? He's like, him. She's like, "Do you see someone?" And she's like, "Yeah." "In the living room?" Yeah, him. And she's like, what does he look like? And I think the grandma at this point goes over and stands in the living room and is like, "Is he right here? He's right here." She's like, "Yeah." "What does he look like?" "Eyes bug." She's like, "What? He has bug eyes?" "Yeah, he has bug eyes." And the grandma's like, "Okay, you're freaking me out." And she like fast walks out of there. And so this little girl like very much is looking at something, saying it's like a bug-eyed man standing in the living room. I tried so hard. I was like, this has got to be something. This has got to be like one of Britt's hat men. Like it's got to be like a thing, right? This like bug-eyed like visitor. I couldn't find shit. I did ask if anyone had any strange experiences like that they wanted to share in the comments section. And Heather says, "My son, who's fixing to turn 18 in a few weeks, used to tell me he saw a man with an Abraham Lincoln hat a lot."
Is it Hat Man or is that Abraham?
That's exactly what I thought. I was like, oh my God, it's a hat man. So used to tell me when we first moved here, he saw a man with an Abraham Lincoln hat a lot, especially on our steps. And we've lived here 12 years. It's a 122-year-old house, and we have a working cattle farm here. But found out from the landlord's niece that her great-granddad used to wear a hat like Abraham Lincoln wore called a stovepipe hat. But my daughter also saw an old lady with bad burned skin around that time.
Ooh.
She's like, I think she just had really wrinkled skin. Was her summation of the situation.
You know, real weathered skin that's been out in the sun for, 75 years. It does kind of look burnt.
It
let's
could.
be honest. No offense, old ladies listening to the podcast.
I don't know, but I picture black and like and burnt if I think about that. But
flakes of skin falling off.
But you're right. It's a fine line between just completely sun-baked, sun goddess lover and just a horrible bonfire accident. Or what kind of, probably like a
so
cow kicked
curious.
over some.
Well, in a house that's 122 years old, it's got to be all kinds of history with that kind of haunted house.
Right? Oh, and I just love that like historical, that's my ideal story. Some shit happens and then you can go and find some reference to it and it's like some confirmation. I have one that I need to figure out what to do with. It is mind-blowing. It's a little a la Jada. It is a little,
well, work it out, girl. I want to hear it.
Well, not today. Ain't happening. So teaser. Tune in next week and the week after. And maybe I'll tell it then.
3 months and we will have it ready.
Yes, there's more. Okay. So Ems says, my daughter did something similar to this at about 2.5. I woke up late and came into the living room and she was waving and laughing at my front door. Like someone was standing there. And then she says that my little sister also had an imaginary friend called Dodo. He was a clown who sat on the ceiling upside down above her bed talking to her at night.
Nope. Mm-mm. Nope. Pass. Don't want that.
That just ups the creep factor by 10x, 100x.
Oh,
why does it have to be a clown?
Why is he upside down? I don't like any of that.
And just talking to him. So then one person does say that Kay says that my daughter used to do something similar. She was about 2 and she would say a man with eyes wide open was looking at her and she would pull at her eyes to make them look bigger. It scared the crap out of us. All kinds of weird stuff happened in that house. So there's 2 accounts now of like a creepy man staring at children.
It just sounds like Steve Buscemi to me, right?
Oh.
Sorry, Steve.
Oh my God. Yes, it does. It really does.
Oh, but he's alive. That wouldn't work. He can't be hopping around.
Unless it's a doppelganger. Anything's possible. I hear he's a pretty good guy. So I assume something bad was going to happen and then his doppelganger went in to save the day or something like that.
Oh, that's true.
Well, he used to be rescuing. Like a firefighter or something. I have not heard a lot of stories about Steve Buscemi, I'll be honest. And and who he is. The very first one that responded to me said, my son used to see the man in the wall. He's 22 now and still remembers exactly what he'd see. And I asked, please ask him, what is it? How do you describe him? And she's like, oh, I don't know. I'll have to ask and get back to you. I'm like, damn it. So if I get an update for that one, I will let you know. But like, that's also not the first time we've heard of man in the walls. And
yes. I love it. All right. I have a story from Maria. It was September 3rd, 2005, the Saturday before Labor Day. My marriage was coming off its rockiest patch ever. 1.5 years prior, my husband had begun an affair with one of our employees at the restaurant we owned. I had just texted my sister the Monday before that it was finally feeling like I had my marriage and my husband back. It was an early morning, still dark. My husband woke me to tell me that he was going in early to change the regulator on the steam table before they opened for the day. He kissed me and said, I love you. I'm shutting off your alarm. Sleep in. 2 hours later, I woke up to the sunrise and called him to see why he wasn't back yet. I thought maybe he ran into some complications. I heard his cell phone ringing in the kitchen. When I went to find it, there was a note addressed to me, along with his checkbook and the house keys. Today will be the last day I make you cry, the note began. He had left me and gone with her. My world, along with all the pedestals I'd built to hide his infidelity, came crashing down around me. I knew only enough at that moment to call in my safety nets, my sister, my best friend, my brother. They helped me off the floor to change the locks. I spent the remainder of the day with my brother and his wife at their insistence. Eventually, I made my way home to our huge, empty house. I didn't turn on the lights. Maybe it would seem less empty, I thought. I dumped all my things at the door and wandered over to the corner of our oversized sectional. I curled up in the fetal position and sobbed loud and long. I stopped when I became aware of my mother's scent. She passed away 3.5 years ago. It couldn't be, I thought. I have finally gone over the edge. Just then, I felt her arms slip around me from behind, followed by humming and rocking. She said, "Let me tell you of all the wonderful things and people your future holds." I drifted off to sleep, safe in arms and lost in her wonderful, long-lost scent and calming, hopeful words. When I woke in the morning, I couldn't remember specifics of any of the wonderful things she told me, no matter how hard I tried. But I loved her and felt her deep, caring love for me. More so, she was someone I could trust, and she was excited for my future, so I would cling to that. Fast forward 16 plus years into the future, I have had so many incredible adventures with so many wonderful people that never could have been a part of my life back then, and with a broader view of life, faith, and the universe. I've always been a lucid dreamer, but didn't know that was a thing until a few years ago. I would dream something that seemed so real with people and places I didn't know, but did, if that makes any sense to anyone. I don't know. But those silly kind of about nothing dreams would come true, and I would call them my mile markers. When they came true, it made me feel as if I was on track, doing what I was supposed to be doing, right where I was supposed to be doing it. Just like I said.
Yeah.
So a month or so ago, I had one of those lucid dreams. It felt real, like I was awake. I still live in the same house that I did when I divorced years before. In the dream, I woke up and sat on the edge of the bed. I could hear crying, so I got up to investigate. I walked into the living room, but it was different. That old sectional couch, which was long gone, was there, and in the corner was this poor little creature sobbing terribly. At that point, I realized I was seeing myself. Years before, on that awful night. Still dreaming, I walked over to that lump of clay and curled up around her and began to tell her all the wonderful things that were in store for her future. It was going to be all right. When I woke, I realized it wasn't my mom that had visited me all those years before. It had been me coming to visit my younger self. When I told my current husband what had happened, he said, "So let's say that traveling back in time to my younger self is possible, and that it was me who held me and told me about my future. Why do I so clearly remember the distinct scent of my mother?" And he said, "Really? How many times have I heard your brothers and sisters say when they hug you, 'Oh, you smell just like Mom'? Of course it was you. So this is just something to consider next time you're touched or held by something or someone you can't see."
Oh, that's so... Oh my God, I love that. I was like, where are you going, Britt? This is like dark to begin with. Little Dear John, I don't know if we've gone down this path before the podcast.
Mind-boggling. Here we think maybe there are just spirits hanging out all around us. But are we going and visiting our different selves at different times?
I want to hear
you're
all of the time travel stories. Please. I think I told one once, remember, with the Amazon worker and his future self, it was all scruffy and he was working with his future self or something.
Yeah.
And it was just horrible. But this is the first I've heard about someone visiting in a dream. Honestly, is that what lucid dreaming is? I thought lucid dreaming was when you were aware that you're dreaming and then you can kind of take control of the dream and you can do whatever you want in the dream.
That's what I kind of thought lucid dreaming was. But I mean, in a sense, I guess she was. She was in control of her dream. It wasn't like her dream was, okay, now you're going to be in this forest and in the thing. She was aware.
Yeah. And then she went ahead and told the little past her all the things that were happening.
You know what this reminds me of? Do you remember the story I told you when I was laying in bed and I reached my hand over and held a hand?
Yes.
Thinking it was my toddler. And then I realized this isn't a toddler hand. This is an adult hand. And so I turn and look over and nobody was there. Maybe it was my other dreaming self coming to visit and hold my hand.
Your future
of my
self?
present self.
Were you having a rough time then in that period of your life?
Well, I had a toddler, so I think
everything you just like, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. I agree. Ooh, I love that. I want to be able to do that. Odin was telling me yesterday
How
that
do we hone in on that?
he's like, if time travel existed, I thought he was going to say something very deep. I think he's like, everything would be destroyed. I was like, but maybe it's illegal. Maybe you can't time travel. Or you can only time travel in dreams. There's like rules and regulations and stuff.
Yeah, who's making the time traveling rules?
Right? Because right now,
and if you're dreaming, there's no rules.
Yeah. That's even more Inception-like, right?
But then, you know, how she was saying before, though, about how she would have lucid dreams and then they would come true. And it's like, oh, things are happening how they should be. Kind of like a deja vu where it's like, oh, I dreamt that before. Yes, things are in place. Like, that's how I feel when I have a deja vu. I'm like, cool, I'm doing the right thing, right? At the right place.
Have you had any deja vu recently?
Not recently. It's probably been a few months.
Yeah, we're way off path. You're way off track with your life, Britt. That's what that. I haven't had deja vu in quite a while either. Okay, well, great story. I love that.
Right? Maria brought it. That was great.
Okay, so are we ready for my next story?
So ready.
Okay, so one of my friends texted me. She's going on vacation and she's going to Arizona for vacation, and they were looking for hotels. And she's like, oh my God, we're going to stay at this hotel. It used to be a freaking hospital. It got changed into a hotel. And I'm like, that already freaky, right? Would you like anything that used to be a hospital, but now is a hotel? I don't think I want anything to do with that.
That's a lot of trauma.
It is
a lot of trauma in
lot.
there.
So the name of it is the Jerome Grand Hotel in Arizona. And it is believed that nearly 9,000 people died in the Jerome Grand Hotel when it was a hospital, the United Verde Hospital. 9,000 people. But seems like most of the ghosts there are actually like there's two really strong ones and they're nurses. So that actually might make, you know, if we've got our theories, it's not necessarily where people died, but people spend a lot of time in these places.
That's where the residual ghosts hang out. You're right.
Right?
Yeah.
So there's ghostly figures, sounds, unexplained orbs of light, and other paranormal activity. And it is kind of, I think it's been on Ghost Hunters and everything like that. It's a known place. The room that receives the most comments is room number 3. And it's a former hospital guest room with a balcony and the site of 2 possible suicides. One of a former miner confined to a wheelchair who reportedly climbed over the balcony railing to his death, and a businessman who shot himself there.
Whoa.
So
why would you do that in a hospital?
Well,
like just in case it goes wrong, someone can actually like fix them up.
No, I think when it says a guest room, I think that means that they weren't guests. I think they may have been there, like in the hospital, a hospital guest room. I think it meant
not patients.
I think it says it's a former hospital guest room with a balcony. I'm going to assume when they say guest room, they mean just like a patient room, like these people were patients. Because when I read that, I thought it meant a visitor, but it says that the coal miner was confined to a wheelchair. So I imagine, especially we talk about the oldie times. If you get a disability, like you're just done. Like there's no workman's comp.
They did not have the required ramps needed.
Maybe he just couldn't get down. He just he's in the wheelchair. Put him in the wheelchair on the 32nd floor, and they're like, good luck, bro. And so I'm going to read up something from this Arizona Central article, and it says, there's a lot of creepy stories at the Jerome Grand Hotel, such as the caretaker who committed suicide in the boiler room, or when maintenance man Claude Harvey was found in the basement, crushed by an elevator in 1935.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, he's thought to ride the 1926 Otis at all hours. Otis is an elevator. It's a type of elevator. And then
I love that elevator, like haunted by a ghost. Yes.
There's a hotel in Victor, Colorado that has an elevator that's supposedly haunted by a ghost, and it's like one of those old timey elevators that like has
clank ones.
Well, clanky clank, but also has like the screen that you pull back, like the collapsible, like like a metal accordion screen sort of thing that goes in front and back. And I can't remember. I feel like when I was in it, it shook, but it was also an elevator. They just shake. So
an elevator from the 20s.
Ghost or not, I don't know. Then he goes on to say, I once received a phone call at the front desk from an unoccupied room and heard a lady say something, but it was inaudible. I called back and there was no answer. I walked up there and the room was vacant. Okay, so we have the real deal up here. He says it's not just a gimmick, and we acknowledge it. So I was like, I want some real stories from this place,
Hell yeah.
So I hopped on over, and I found a couple TripAdvisor reviews.
No way!
So I was like, you know what?
I love these.
Let's see what real people have to say about this. And okay, so this one is titled, I'm hearing things, I'm seeing things, and I'm going insane. Must be staying in 37B. And they say, I came here expecting to get some R&R, rest and relaxation. Well, I almost enjoyed my stay. This was until this ghost ran down the hall covered in a white sheet. I tried to catch it on camera, but in my panic, I dropped my phone in the toilet. Wait,
are they in the bathroom? I thought he just said the hallway.
They had to run back to the bathroom to grab their phone.
To take the okay, I got you.
Yes, okay.
Okay.
So I ran down the hall as these voices chased me. I dared to turn and look to see two boys walk out of room 29. They giggled and I got scared and screamed. Leaping into the old Otis elevator, mashing the button, I remember being told not to slam the elevator door. Claude and former maintenance man greeted me at the lobby to remind me. How kind. As I apologized to Sarah and Brittany in the lobby, they told me Claude did not work there anymore. Or did he? Something weird is going on at this place. Someone said it was a hospital from 1926 to 27. Honestly, with everything going on, I grabbed my stolen silver and copper and I hit the door. I will try again next month. It's a beautiful hotel. The staff are excellent. Maybe next time I'll have better success on the R&R. By the way, has anyone seen my friends? They never checked out of the Grand Suite.
Oh, boy.
So that sounded very true to me.
Totally legit. The white sheeted ghost.
I started out with the most legitimate story. Okay, so we'll see about the rest of these. This one's titled Fun Visit and First Experience with Activity, quote unquote. We booked the Jerome Grand sort of by accident on Halloween. I wanted to visit this small town as I have some family history here from the mining era. Anyway, it sounded fun to spend a night in a hotel with character and history. We were on the waiting list and they were able to give us room 35 about a few days prior. Upon arrival, we were stoked to see a town with so much charm and am I slurring? I can't say my words. I need a sip. Hold on a second.
Sip.
Okay. Upon arrival, we were stoked to see a... Didn't help. Upon arrival, we were stoked to see a town with so much charm and character, and especially the road up to the Grand. We enjoyed an evening out in town and were back home and asleep by about midnight. Even though we were warned that the hotel may be loud on a holiday, we were surprised and pleased with how quiet it was at bedtime. Almost too quiet, actually, for an old building. About 5 or 5:30 a.m., I woke up very thirsty and randomly turned on the bedside light, which I never normally do. and realized the bench in our room had been moved. I confirmed with my boyfriend many times over that he did not move the bench, nor did I. Neither of us sleepwalk. There is simply no logical explanation for how or why the bench was moved. And I do not even believe in ghosts. So there you have it. Maybe I was wrong. We had a great time, and now I'm a little more spooked. And she actually included a picture of this wooden bench. Yeah, that was pushed up against the wall, and it's now like almost at a 45-degree angle from the wall, like someone pulled it out from the wall.
Ooh.
And so the owner responded to this review, and they say that room 35 was a nurse's break room back in the days of United Verde Hospital. So maybe one of the many nurses that worked here decided to rearrange the furniture in the middle of the night. So they're blaming it on the nurse.
Awesome. I mean, if someone's going to keep a tidy room, it's going to be a nurse.
I suppose. What are they doing? Why are they just moving the shit around in the middle of the night, though?
I don't know. Maybe they're like, it's one of those things. They're in the ghostly world and they're like, oh, long shift, walking to their bed. God damn it. Who put this bench here? And then they just like move it because they're pissed. They just want to go sleep. That makes it. Yeah.
To me, it's almost like pulled out, like they had to get something from behind it. Like they pulled out one side, like they dropped something. And so they had to grab it. Okay. And so then this one says, a fun, awesome hotel. We stayed in the Jerome Grand Hotel and loved it. We don't believe in ghosts, but early in the morning, my husband got up to watch the sunrise on the balcony. He heard me call his name. When he heard me a second time, he got up and opened the door. But I was fast asleep. We had a nice dinner in the Asylum restaurant. No room outside, but inside had a great view of the valley. Excellent service and food. So they have a restaurant on site called the Asylum Restaurant.
It's a delight. I love it. I want to go here. Add it to our list. Add it to our list of hotels that we will be traveling to.
Exactly. Like really just prime the gears for the grease the wheels after your haunted hotel experience at the Kansas City Hotel.
I want to go to all of them. Yes.
Yeah. And so my friend just texted me this, and I'd never heard of this hotel. I don't think Jerome, I think is just a fancy hotel name, because I feel like I stayed at a fancy hotel Jerome in Aspen once. It was like stupid fancy. I think I already talked about it. I think there was a rumor of a little boy who drowned in a pool, and people were seeing like the ghost of like there'd be wet spots. They'd see an apparition,
that sounds
or a
vaguely
kid,
familiar.
would run up for help. So the hotel is an old mining town, and the hospital ended up closing in 1950, and it was just abandoned for years and years. And then the mining operations in Jerome ceased in 1953. So everything just laid abandoned. And so the new owner moved in and started work in 1994. And he doesn't.
That's a long time.
Yeah. So,
right?
I know. The owner doesn't believe in ghosts, but he has let like ghost hunters and all the, TV shows come in. And I think that like they even have haunted tours, and it sounds like the Stanley where they started to play up the haunted element. Uh-huh. And he says that they've had many visiting psychics over the years, and 3 of them seem to pick up a number of things, both past and present. 2 in particular said the head nurse and the nurse in charge was upset with the removal of the desks. Both psychics were in what is now the restaurant lounge area, and originally the dispensary and main entrance for the hospital. The owner told each psychic the original dispensary desks were in storage. The psychics did not know each other and visited more than a year apart. Later, upon leasing out the restaurant and lounge in 2003, the new tenant somehow saw 2 cabinets stored at the back of one of the garages in the hotel. We asked the owner what they were and if we could use them in the restaurant area. Given permission, the original dispensary counter height desks were relocated within a few feet of their original placement. And to date, the head nurse has made no more complaints. Well, at least about the desk.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that the 2 psychics both said
yes,
the desk. She misses the desk.
Yeah, and they referred to her. One referred to her as the head nurse, and the other the nurse in charge. So you're right. Maybe they are like they do not want the furniture move. They have a place. They like where it is. Have you ever seen that show, Psychics? It was like a psychic show where they take people to locations, these psychics to locations, blindfolded. They don't know anything. Something major had happened in that room or place, and then they have to intuit what happened, essentially. I think I saw a portion of one episode, and they had taken them to the room where Janis Joplin died. And like one of them is like someone, you know, was laying on the ground here and someone died. Like I said, I only saw a glimpse of this show. I really wish I had seen the whole thing. Like,
I want to watch this. See, psychics fascinate me. It is like the ultimate skill.
yes.
Like that abilities. And it's not even something where it's like, you're born with it. It's not even something that it's like, oh, you know what? I want to learn to be a psychic. Like you can improve your psychic abilities, but you either have it or you don't. It's awesome.
You don't think you're born with it?
No, that's what I said. You are born with it. It's not. Oh, I may have said it wrong.
Sorry, no.
You are born with it. It's not like you can. Oh, I'm going to go to community college to be a psychic now. You can't learn it. Well,
damn it. Well,
yeah, I know. Sorry.
Maybe
your
she's
future dreams are spoiled.
Well, our psychic friend Alex said that, you know, you could improve it by meditating, right? Sitting.
True. How's that working for you?
Not at all. Not. Have I tried? I felt real inspired and determined after our conversation. Very
How many
sporadically.
minutes? 10 minutes? That's pretty good. It's a good start, Alissa.
10 minutes over the course of like 6 months. Yeah, you know, I didn't want to like go too hard. I didn't want to like start changing like the whole universe if my powers grew too rapidly and too powerful. So yeah, I was like, I'll take it slow. And we'll build on that. I've actually even forgot that I wanted to be a psychic. I was just like, just breathe.
Your heart's not quite in
I
it
was
just yet.
more focusing on breathing first. I got to calming those nerves. I am a terrible sleeper. I'm like, my brain is not a calm place to be. You can probably guess that from talking to me though. And knowing me.
I don't get that at all.
When I'm a ghost,
You're
I'm
giving me the bulgy eyes right now.
That's it. I'm going to be one of those asshole ghosts standing behind a couch, just bulging eyes at a little girl.
Bug eyes.
Ah, bug eyes. No, it's just your grandma, Allie. That's just what she did. She's just thinking. Don't worry about her. She's just thinking.
I love that one. I love Arizona. I haven't been in many years.
I have been. I was there just recently, and I love Arizona. Do I love Arizona? Do I love Arizona? I think if I loved Arizona, it would be flowing a little more easily out of my face. I enjoy Arizona. I enjoy visiting there. I don't know if I love it.
I mean, I don't know that I would want to go move there, but yeah, to visit, to hang out in the desert.
Okay.
On a balcony.
Okay.
While someone's calling my name. Yeah.
In a wheelchair?
Of course.
I still haven't found anything good on that one old hotel that must be haunted as fuck. Winslow, Arizona. I got to figure that one out still. But no, Arizona is very picturesque and it's very beautiful. And then there's a lot of history for like, you know, the Southwest. So I'll post some pictures of this hotel. And I did tell my friend that if she must report back if anything happens.
Must. Will you also the picture of the bench? I want to see that.
Yeah,
too. We'll
I will.
Put that in the show notes.
I told her if she like gets an itch to bust out a Ouija board, but don't know if she'll do that.
Oh, even send her this text. Say, hey, maybe just walk around with your cell phone recording.
Yes,
and someone will just talk to you. It could just be that easy.
I think that you and Mel are already haunted people, and it could have not. And I think that it was the two of you. It could have been Mel's Ouija board ghost that was just tagging around.
Don't tell her that.
And yeah, well, Mel, I'm going to tell you that I think it was your Ouija board ghost tagging along. Help me. I was
that was actually accurate.
Maybe it was me. In a future, in a dream, I was in the hallway.
Dun, dun, dun. Solving things every day. I love it.
I will say I was really freaked out editing that late at night. Everyone's asleep and listening. I was like, God, it's scary. Even if you don't believe, it is like very scary, freaky stuff. Like it's just freaky. I don't know.
That's why we're here.
Or even I don't know what to believe, right? There's a voice on there.
So many
Whose
questions.
was it? I don't know. The unknown. That's what we do here. Freak ourselves out and everyone else out.
If you have a story of the unknown, the unexplainable, or just you want to shoot the shit with Alissa and I,
hell yeah,
you can contact us in lots of ways.
In our dreams.
One, dreams.
No, okay.
Just don't hold my hand, please.
Number one. Go in future, come back to us in a dream.
2, you can call us on your old-timey phone. 302-689-DEAD. 302-689-3323. Way number 3, Alissa.
You can email us at skeletalespodcast@gmail.com. You can also message us on our social medias, although the email is just a better way for us to congregate and keep everything in line. But yeah, like tell your friends, tell your family. We need stories all the time. If you've been to a creepy place, you plan on going to a creepy place.
Yep.
Time travel.
Honestly, we'll take it all.
Yeah.
We will take it all. If you were like followed by a weird dude who ended up being like your cousin and you were like, oh, I thought that you were, the shadow man or whatever. Sure. Tell us that weird story. I'll take it.
Okay.
Why did that come in my head?
I don't know if we'll tell that story. Well,
don't tell that story.
but
you can, know what? You can tell us and we'll decide.
Exactly. The story that I wanted to hear, now I forgot because I got so lost and enthralled in Britt's cousin story. I don't remember anymore what I was going to say.
Doppelgangers.
It wasn't about doppelgangers. I definitely went, I was going to say, if you have heard anything, if you've heard an interesting story from someone or you've just known of something, right? It doesn't have to necessarily be a firsthand experience. Yeah, it can be your mom, your grandma. You just heard your best friend. You heard it on the school bus. Maybe you overheard it on the train. Tell us. I don't care. You heard a
Those
freaky
sound
story?
Super legit. Yeah, definitely. What? No, I wasn't teasing. I want to hear it.
Anytime you say legit. It's not. Anyway, oh boy. Britt.
Hey, Alissa.
Britt.
What's up?
Hey.
Yeah.
Hunt you later.
Hunt y'all later.
Good night.
Bye.